Welcome to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives, a SoCan licensed podcast coming to you weekly from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Each week, I talk about a song that's been stuck in your head at one point or another, or stuff you've never heard before. Welcome to this musical journey. What's up, and welcome back to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. This should sound very familiar as it's Audio Slave. I just realized just now saying that. You guys know what we're listening to before it fucking plays because it's in the title. So I don't know. It only took me fucking this long to realize this. And it just came to me out of the middle of nowhere. It's currently 11:15 p.m. on a Sunday night. I've had a very long day. I don't work tomorrow because we're lucky enough that we have a long weekend tomorrow. I can't remember. It's one of our fucking holiday things that we got here in Canada. It's nice. It's not bad. Let's see what I did today. I was fucking busy today. I got in my 62 Buick, and the wife and I went to fucking car shows. There was 2 big car shows, and it was really cool. I saw some old cars and saw some newer cars and some old cars at the new old car show. And I stopped at my homie Chris's shop. That haven't seen that guy in a while. Went to school with him and ran into him here and there, but hooked up with him, checked out his awesome shop. If you're in the Edmonton area and you have a hot rod and you need hot rod fucking work done, you go to Sideshow Fabrications. Dude does amazing work. Crazy work. Crazy work. Hopefully in the future I can do some work with him, and I want to do some stuff to my cars. It'd be really great. I want to do that lowrider scallop style metal flake stuff. So that's for my 62. So let's get into Audio Slave. Audio Slave was an American rock supergroup formed in Los Angeles, California in 2001. The 4-piece band consists of Soundgarden's lead singer and rhythm guitar player Chris Cornell, and Rage Against the Machine's Tom Morello, lead guitar obviously, Tim Crawford, bass and backing vocals, and Brad Wilk on drums. Critics first described Audioslave as a combination of Soundgarden and Rage Against the Machine, obviously. But by the band's second album, Out of Exile, it was noted that they had established a separate identity. Audioslave's sound was created by blending like a 70s hard rock with a 90s alternative. I don't know. This is how they describe it. I don't know. Morello incorporated his well-known unconventional guitar solos into the mix, as well with the Rage Against the Machine flavor, and the band pride themselves on the fact that all the sounds on their albums were produced using only guitars, bass, drums, and vocals. If you don't know if you're listening to this and you don't know who Tom Morello really is, go listen to some fucking Rage Against the Machine, especially some early Rage Against the Machine. Tom Morello, I've said it time and time again, he's inspired me in so many different ways to play guitar, in so many different ways, just from the stuff he uses. And you know what, he doesn't use like big processors or anything. He uses guitar pedals, and he does amazing things with it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's fucking shit. I don't know. I think it was fucking great. Chris Cornell's voice was fucking phenomenal. The guy could do things with his voice that was nuts. And you put him with a band like Rage Against the Machine, the guys from Rage Against the Machine, it's a perfect fucking storm. In its 6 years of existence, Audioslave released 3 albums, receiving 3 Grammy nominations, sold more than 8 million records worldwide, and became the first American rock band to perform on an open-air concert in Cuba. I talk about that later, and it's pretty cool, and like the way they had to do it is pretty nuts. Audioslave disbanded February 2007 when Cornell issued a statement announcing that he was permanently leaving the band due to irresolvable personal conflicts as well as musical differences. I get into that also. Then 2007, Rage Against the Machine reunion and tour involved the rest of the band. So Zach De La Rocha and the guys from Audioslave, which is Rage Against the Machine, as well as the solo albums released that same year by Morello and Cornell. Mr. Morello has a side thing called The Night Watchman. It's acoustic stuff. I didn't like it in the early, like when it first started. I haven't really checked it out now. Maybe I might like it now because my palette has become a lot grander in design, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just very more open to music now, thanks to Spotify. Thank you, Spotify. And that's what cemented the supergroup's permanent demise. On January 20th, 2017, 3 days after announcing their reunion, Audioslave performing together from the first time in over a decade at Prophets of Rage inaugural ball. I get into that name after too. It's pretty crazy. Tom Morello and his political stuff. In the early hours of May 18, 2007, Chris Cornell was found dead in his hotel room in Detroit at the age of 52 after playing a Soundgarden show. Sad day. I will also get into that a little bit later on. So let's do this. Audio Slave's history dates back to October 18th, 2000, when Rage Against the Machine's lead vocalist, Zach De La Rocha, announced that he was leaving the band, citing a breakdown in its decision-making process. Zach De La Rocha was a very political, anti-establishment, anti-the-man type guy. Same thing with Tom Morello, but I could see them butting heads because they're very strong-minded individuals, where Zach De La Rocha's you can hear he's very fiery, and Tom Morello can be very passive-aggressive at times. This is what I'm getting from it all, and what I can see. I don't know them personally, so it's just kind of, you get that vibe, you know what I mean? And when you usually it's right when you get that vibe going. So because they broke up because of Zach De La Rocha leaving the band, but the remaining members, Tim, Tom, and Brad, wanted to stay together. They decided to stay together, and I'm fucking glad they did, because they were an amazing... These guys together are great. So they were on search for vocalists, and they had several jam sessions with vocalists, including Be Real of Cypress Hill, but they did not want another rapper or anybody who would sound like De La Rocha, so they were trying to start all over from the beginning again, right? And contrary to popular belief, Lane Staley did not try out for from Alice in Chains, did not try out for auditions, and he was never asked to join. Tom Morello denied all these claims on his Twitter account. It was weird when I read that. I'm like, what the fuck? I had to go back and see when Lane Staley died, and it was fucking 2000. I want to say 2007, something like that. Like fucking not. I'm like, fuck. That wasn't that long ago, but it seems like forever. So this is pretty cool. Mr. Rick Rubin. I've talked about him many times, obviously, because he's produced a lot of crazy shit, and he's a pretty good producer. And from the sounds of it, a very fucking solid individual, as he's the one who suggested that they play with Chris Cornell, the ex-frontman of Soundgarden. Rubin also persuaded the three of them to go into group therapy with performance coach Phil Towell after the breakup. Rubin was confident with the right new voice, Rage Against the Machine had the potential to become a better band. He believed, and this is a quote, it could turn into the Yardbirds into Led Zeppelin scenario. And that's huge. Tim later credits Rubin for being the catalyst that brought Audioslave together. He called him the angel at the crossroads, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. That's deep AF, like crazy. The chemistry between Cornell and the other three was immediately apparent, as Morello described. He stepped to the microphone and sang the song, and I couldn't believe it. It didn't just sound good. It didn't just sound great. It sounded transcendent. And when there's an irreplaceable chemistry from the first moment, you can't deny it. The quartet wrote 21 songs during the 19-day rehearsal and began working in the studio late May 2001 with Rick Rubin as producer while sorting out the label and management issues. Okay, look. If you get together with somebody and there's that kind of chemistry, and that chemistry is so hard that you can pump out 21 songs in 19 fucking days, you got motherfucking gold. That's called catching lightning. You can't catch lightning. Once in a while you get motherfucking lucky and you can catch some. These guys caught lightning, and they bottled it up real nice. On March 19, 2002, Audioslave was confirmed for the 7th annual Ozfest, despite at the time having neither an official name nor a release date for the debut album. That is beyond. I didn't even know what to say about that, because you are going to the Prince of Darkness's fucking party, and he invited you, and you don't even have an album out yet. And that's saying something. Like you can't deny the craziness of the guys, the band, and the voice. Like it was meant to be together, catching lightning, and they were going to release it. A few days later, reported surfaces that the band had broken up before they had even played in public, before they even did a show. Cornell's manager confirmed that the frontman had left the band with no explanation given. So this band, they were doomed from the start for multiple reasons, and I get into that later too. It was a bad. I don't know. It's fucking tough. It was a great situation, and just thrown away, I feel like. Rumors suggested that Cornell took issues with having two managers actively involved in the project. Jim was representing Cornell, and Peter Murch of Q Prime handled Rage Against the Machine. But the band was like, let's tell the fucking truth. The split was not triggered by personal conflicts, but the quarreling of managers. So these dickheads trying to make money off the fucking band are what screwed everything up. And they didn't even quit. They still wanted to play. After the mixing of the album was finished, roughly 6 weeks later, the group reformed and simultaneously fired their management companies and hired another, The Firm. I like it. So they're like, fuck you guys, and they fired them, and they took over. I gotta be a dirty business. Like I watched Entourage, and like their management thing, if it's anything like that in real life, holy crap, I don't know, man. So in the meantime, 13 rough mixes of the song the band created months previously were leaked on a peer-to-peer file sharing network. So like I don't know if you guys remember Kazaa, LimeWire, back in the day, Napster, all that shit was free. There was consequences to downloading music off of those sites, and they were called fucking viruses and malware and Trojans, and it was brutal. You were guaranteed, I promise you were to get some type of virus on your computer using these file sharing networks. It was crazy. May 2002, that's when that happened. Under the name Civilian, or the Civilian Project, according to Tom Morello, the songs were unfinished and in some cases weren't even the same lyrics, guitar solos, and performances of any kind. I got some recordings of those. I think I actually still have some of those. So like they're like just demos. When he was on MTV, he described them as inferior sketches of works in progress sent to Seattle for Chris to work on. Someone at the studio helped themselves to a copy, and after 8 months, it made its way to an Italian website. So this is made like these straight demos, just so Chris had something to work with. That's exactly what happened, but it just went fucking nutty. The band officially announced their name and launched their website in early September, and the first single, Cochise, was posted online in late September and was on the radio early October. I remember this video. It was when I saw the amazingness. How Tom Morello described it, and it's all transcending and all that good stuff. I remember seeing this video and going, holy shit, this is gold. That lightning they caught, they were showing to people, and it was fucking amazing. It was great. Go check out the video. It's a weird little video. From what I was reading, there was also there was like huge fireworks and stuff in this video. And apparently there was like in LA, they were worried that it was a terrorist attack because they were on top of this giant platform, and it's crazy. Go check it out and you'll see what I'm talking about. The self-titled debut album, Audio Slave, was released on November 19, 2002 and entered the Billboard 200 charts at number 7 after selling 162,000 copies on its first week. It was certified gold by the RIAA within a month of release, and by 2006, it has achieved triple platinum status. It is the most successful Audio Slave album to date. It had major mixed reviews with the media. Some said it was shit, some said it was great, some were like, meh, it's whatever. They picked it apart from the way the music was written, the way they were playing, to the way Chris was singing and the lyrics. I guess it's easier to sit behind the pencil or the pen or the keyboard or the iPad and sit there and keyboard warrior that shit than to actually write a song. Because I'm telling you right now, it's not as easy as people think it is. Sometimes it works and sometimes it's just not that fucking simple. Audio Slave made their live debut on November 25th, 2002, performing a brief concert on the roof of the Ed Sullivan Theater on Broadway in New York City for The Late Show with David Letterman. This was their first time any band had appeared on the Letterman marquee. The marquee is the thing on the roof, and it says, yeah, okay? It's the giant letters on the roof for those people that don't know what a marquee is. That year's KROQ Almost Acoustic Christmas was their first official paying concert, in which the band played on the first night of December after giving a secret club show the night before. I heard about this club show. I was reading this and going, oh, fuck, I remember this. They did, there was rumors of a supergroup, and obviously it came out, and then they did their thing, and then there was rumors that they were going to do a show, but no one really knew about it, and then all of a sudden, boom, they did this fucking secret show, and then they went and did David Letterman. I never really, I think, I want to say it leaked somewhere, or someone had a video or some shit. I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but it was pretty rad to see them do that kind of thing. I guess, you know what I mean? They're keeping it real at that point. Towards the end of the band's 6-song set, Cornell told the audience, "These guys saved my life this year." And the show ended with his bandmates hugging him. Afterwards, he was asked to explain why his comments, and he would only say that he had drugged the trio through a trail of shit in the past months. Obviously, Chris had some issues, and he had a lot of fucking things to deal with in his life, and a lot of mental health issues. He said they stuck by him. During this time, there was rumors that Chris Cornell had checked himself into drug rehab. He later confirmed it in an interview with Metal Hammer that was conducted from the clinic. Cornell explained that what he went through a horrible personal crisis during the making of the first record. Staying in rehab for 2 months and separated from his wife, he credited Morello, Comfort, Tom, and Tim Wilkes with helping him rebound from a difficult period. He dismisses the rumors about being in rehab for OxyContin and heroin, but when asked, he offered various things. I am not picky, mainly for drinking. So he tried to blame it on drinking. Obviously, there's a little more to it than that. They always there's this stigma that it's heroin all the time. It's not heroin all the goddamn time. There's so many other drugs out there that these fucking people can do, like liquor. I don't get it. Why they always assume. I mean, I'm not saying that it didn't happen because I don't know. I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you. But it's not just fucking heroin all the time. There's so much other than that. Like, it's just, I don't know. It bugs me that they just default to this fucking heinous shit all the time. Like a Stone was released in early 2003. It was the highest charting single from the album, peaking at #1 in the Billboard's mainstream rock tracks and modern rock track charts. It was certified gold by the RIAA, making it Audioslave's most successful single ever. The video, Like a Stone, was shot in Los Angeles. This is really cool. The house of Mr. Jimi Hendrix, where he wrote Purple Haze. I don't remember this video, but they're writing that like it's all like dark and stuff, and they're trying to like capture the image of Jimi Hendrix and capture the image of it. They're getting all artsy with it, which is totally fucking rad though. Like, that's Jimi Hendrix, man. The music video for the third single, Show Me How to Live, was banned from MTV reportedly because it showed the band in a high-speed car chase running police cars and motorcycles off the road. Like, fucking come on, MTV. Then the band went on a crazy tour worldwide in 2003, notably for Lollapalooza, where they were winning the 2003 Reader's Choice Award for favorite Lollapalooza band by a landslide, apparently, from the Metal Edge magazine. That's pretty cool. When it's a fans voting for it, you know you did something right, because that's a group of people, that's a whole fucking shit ton of people that say this is who should win, not some fucking dick behind a fucking desk somewhere saying, hey, this game, he didn't play the guitar very well right there, so no, he's not the winner. Speaking of which, if you're listening to this and you're getting viewweekly.ca, please go vote for my other podcast, The Awesome Hour. I'm trying to plug this because I got this thing where I want to win this. We work hard at what we do. We produce something every single week, no matter what, like I do on here on the Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. But The Awesome Hour, we've been doing it for a few years now. We lost last year, and it was kind of sketchy who we lost to, so we kind of feel like it was fixed. We don't know. I can't say if it was fixed, but the way we lost was kind of bullshit. I don't think, and we're not bad losers, so we didn't care. But we want to win it again this year just to kind of like rub it in their face and prove a point. So if you're listening to this, go to viewweekly.ca, Best of Edmonton, or just Google View Weekly, VUE Weekly, Best of Edmonton. 2018, it'll come up, and then just scroll down to media, and you put in The Awesome Hour and podcast, scroll down, and then just fill out some particulars. They're a local paper media, digital media thing. They're not going to spam you guys or anything like that, so don't worry about that. They're actually pretty solid people like in that aspect. So if you're on my Instagrams, you know that I post regularly, and same thing with The Awesome Hour. And if you actually go into YAG Podcasts as the hashtag, I fucking rule that bitch. I think I want to say we started that hashtag, but like I rule that. You go in there, you're gonna see us all the time. You're gonna see the other ones, and there's some decent fucking podcasts in the city, but we bust fucking ass every single week. And I'm not overdoing. I'm not saying that just to say it, because it's just how it is, man. So the View Weekly, Best of Edmonton. So View Weekly, VUE Weekly, Best of Edmonton 2018. So I gotta do Google that, and it'll come up. Thank you. Mucho apreciado. Love you guys for doing it. Back to Audioslave. In 2004, Audioslave was among the nominees for the 46th Grammy Award. Like a Stone was nominated for Best Hard Rock Performance, and Audioslave for Best Rock Album. They spent the rest of 2004 on a break from touring, working on the second album. This is where it starts getting weird here. It gave Morello time to concentrate on a solo project, The Night Watchman, and it also took to take time in part of political activities, which he did a lot of. And Cornell had to focus on his personal life. After his divorce with his first wife was finalized, he married Vicky. I'm not even going to attempt it. He married Vicky. Her name is crazy. I don't know how to say that last name. I don't want to say it because that's a crazy name to say. I don't even know where to start with it. So the beautiful if you've seen anything, you know how it goes. The Night Watchman, I don't know. It's acoustic. Like I said, I should have checked it out. Tom went down this really weird political stance thing. And I mean, I get it because they were going, the America. That's great. America was going through some really crazy shit at the time. So I get what he was trying to do. It was just a little weird for myself. I've never really been like a fight the power person anyway. I know like when it's time to say something, I say something, but I'm not going to go out of my way to make a fucking stink about something like that. It's just not in my nature. It's just not me. But I don't, like I said, if I see something wrong, I say something and I'll stick up for what's right, and I will fucking say it's wrong not to do stuff. That's just me though. The new album that they started in 2003 during the Lollapalooza tour, and then they continued at the end of the year when the band members entered the studio. Aside from writing new material, the band also had some leftover songs from the Audioslave sessions. According to Tom Morello, they had almost another album's worth of stuff already done. The thing is, Chris Cornell, Tom Morello, and I'm sure the rest of the guys are very well put together musicians. And when you put that many musicians together that are that good, you come up with really good stuff. Be Yourself was the first single from Out of Exile. April 2005, the band launched a club tour, which lasted until late May. Although on previous tours, Audioslave occasionally played cover songs, they deliberately avoided playing their former band songs to avoid using those songs as a crutch to help sell and break Audioslave. Basically what they wanted to do is they didn't want to crutch on Soundgarden, they didn't want to crutch on Rage Against the Machine because Audioslave was its own entity and they wanted to be its independent entity, and they achieved it. After they achieved it, that's when it began. They're like, you know what, it's time to do some really cool covers, and they did. They did the two band's most popular songs, Black Hole Sun and Bulls on Parade. I've seen, and they've done later on, like later after that, they did a few other covers like that, and they did obviously solo and shit like that, so it's pretty cool to see. They built this band up, they did covers of other stuff, but they didn't do of their old bands, which were famous, and they did it. Good for them. That's fucking awesome. The second single, Your Time Has Come, was released through a unique promotion lasting a week. This is weird, I had to read this a few times, which involved radio listeners around the world. Radio stations were asked to post a link on their website to a special timed out download of the song. Once 1 million people clicked on the link, the song was unlocked and became downloadable by all 1 million. I'm like, what the fuck? I read it and now I just said it out loud and it all makes sense. I'm trying to be sneaky. I guess that's kind of like a good way to get some traffic, some weird social media kind of things. I guess it works. It worked. It worked. On May 6, 2005, Audioslave played a free show in Havana, Cuba. This is cool. I was talking about this earlier. In front of an estimated 50,000 people at the, oh my goodness, La Tribuna. I'm not Jose Martia. I'm not gonna butcher this. It was a anti-imperialist stand. Venue, which was purposely built in 2000 for the masses to protest against the U.S. government. Audioslave became the first American rock group to perform the open-air concert in a socialist republic of Cuba. That's nuts, because like if you're American, you're not allowed in Cuba. They will not let you go through Cuba. You're not allowed to go anywhere near Cuba. If you're Canadian, though, on the other hand, you can go there all day long. They love you because you're Canadian. This is where I was saying it got a little weird. The trip was organized with the joint authorization of the United States Department of Treasury and the Instituto Cubano de la Musica, the Cuban Institution of Music. I guess I could have just read that instead of reading it in Cuban. I can read it in Cuban, but I can't pronounce names. Go figure. As traveled by the U.S. citizens to Cuba is, like I said, restricted, the authorization arrived so late that the band had to cancel and postpone several confirmed dates in the U.S. tour that they were on. The 26-song set concert they did, which includes several Soundgarden songs and Rage Against the Machine songs, was the longest the band had ever played. So they had to get the U.S. State Department of Treasury and the Cuban Institute of Music together in order for this band, these Americans, to go into Cuba and play. It's the power of music, man. That's absolutely bonkers. It's funny I just said that. I had this like weird epiphany the other day. I zoned out and I was like just in my brain, in this weird ride in my brain. I zoned out and I just let it go. And I figured out why I love music so much. And I think why, this is just a theory of mine, I guess you could call it, why music touches people so much, let alone, okay, so scientifically it's all the frequencies and stuff like that, and it makes you feel good and triggers your brain. But it's like the beat, because I was like, all of a sudden I was breathing, and I was like, oh, I'm like, oh. And I like calmed down my breath, and my heart slowed down. But the music was at this, I'm like, oh. And it kind of hit at the same, like I was listening to, I can't remember what I was listening to, Super Mellow. And this is what made me do it. It's the beat of the music and the beat of your heart. So if you don't have a fucking heart, you're dead. If you don't have a beat, you don't have a fucking song, right? I'm probably... There's probably people yelling right now like, you fucking idiot. Yeah, we figured this out a long time ago, but this to me, I just figured it out, and I figured it out on my own. I had no one to tell me that. So that's my little epiphany for the week. Out of Exile was released internationally May 23rd, 2005. Then, a day later in the U.S., it debuted at the top of the Billboard charts 200. The only Audioslave album to reach the position. The following week, however, it dropped to number 3 with a 62% sales decrease. That's nuts. Coincidentally, reaching platinum. Cornell admitted to writing his most personal songs ever on the album, influenced by positive changes in his life. I always feel like when I used to write music, I had to be in a place to write it. I just never let it naturally flow. That was when I was younger. I was like, I have to be sad, I have to be all angsty, and I have to be dreary and feel like this is the right song. And then I realized you don't have to be like that. There was more to it than that. The reason why I said that is because he admitted to being most personal songs ever. That was his outlet to get that out. And I think it's really fucking rad that he said that. The band embarked on a European tour and performed at the Live 8 benefit concert in Berlin on July 2nd, 2005, and played the first North American headlining arena tour from late September to November 2005. It is really late, so I'm stumbling on my words. It's like right now I'm looking at the clock and it's almost 12 o'clock. Dudes, ladies, boys and girls, holy shit, I'm getting tired. Let's keep going. In December 2005, Audioslave received their third Grammy nomination at the 48th Grammy Award in the Best Hard Rock Performance category. Doesn't remind me. Audioslave began recording their next album, and Cornell had already expressed his desire to make an album every year or year and a half, even before Out of Exile was released. That is a lot of work, and I respect what he's saying there, but with their busy schedule, it was too much. It was way too much, and I really think that is a part of the reason why there was no, it wasn't there. They needed somebody to just, control them a little bit. Like, go in there, like, yo, you guys, it's okay. You don't need to do it every year and a half, or every year, maybe every 2 years if you could. I don't know. There was just something missing. So in early July 2005, after the conclusion of the European tour, the band returned to the studio to write new songs. Morello said that their aim was to blur the lines between rehearsing, recording, and touring. I don't know. These guys are crazy like that, though. Tom Morello is nuts. His fucking hand is broken in like a bunch of places. He's got screws and titanium in there, and he's still playing guitar today. Like, literally. I just watched a video of him with Prophets of Rage and Frank Carter doing a cover of Killing the Name Of, and he's got this weird contraption on his hand, and it's his fucking fretting hand, so it's where he puts his fingers on all the strings, and it's fucking jacked up, and he's still playing, man. It's nuts. Audioslave had 20 songs written and recorded, 16 of those in only 3 weeks. The album's release date, however, was postponed to early September, and the band canceled their previous announcement of a European tour to have a new album to support when they embarked on the tour. These guys, like, they had 20 songs, 16 done in 3 weeks. Done. Like, man, I don't know. That's magic. News about Cornell's departure emerged in July 2006 when insiders stated that after the third album was released, he would depart from the band, restart his solo career. He did that weird shit too, Chris Cornell. Some weird stuff with I mentioned this before with this producer, fuck his name again. It was like weird poppy, like, I don't know, I gotta go back and listen to it. Naomi, my friend Naomi, really liked it, but she loves Chris Cornell. So Chris immediately denied the rumors, stating, "We hear rumors about Audioslave is breaking up all the time. I always just ignore them." In the same interview, he also discussed the intentions to record a new solo album, the second in 7 years, before the end of August. A special marketing campaign preceded the new album's release in August, when the art concept was featured on Google Earth as a fictional utopian island, Audioslave Nation, created in the South Pacific Ocean. It's, you know how they have that weird, like, flame thing on their front of their album cover? That's what was in there. It'd be a weird island, that's for fucking sure. Songs from the upcoming album appeared on movies and video game soundtracks like Miami Vice and Madden NFL 07, which I've said before that I used to be able to play that game and no one could beat me. I even went online and fucking kicked ass. I don't know why. This is a weird, I'm not a huge sports guy, but for some reason that game I just pissed everybody off with. Revelations was released on September 5th, 2006. The album entered the Billboard 200s at number 2 and sold 142,000 copies during its first week of release. and that was the band's least commercially successful album. Morello referred to the new sound as Led Zeppelin meets Earth, Wind, and Fire. Additionally, several songs took more overtly political stance than previous Audioslave releases. Cornell decided to delay the Revelations tour in 2007 because he wanted to let the album come out for a while and also concentrate on his second solo album. I think they just had too much things. They had too many things. Too many things. You can't do that much stuff. Like, you just can't. It's not physically possible. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. The rest of the band went along with it, and Morello also revealed his plans to release his debut solo album in the early 2007. 07 Rage Against the Machine was announced to reunite for one show only at the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. I totally remember this, and I was really stoked on it because I was like, oh, new album. But that's not happening. On April 29th, less than a month later, on February 15th, Cornell officially announced his departure from Audioslave, issuing this statement. Due to irresolvable personal conflicts as well as musical differences, I am permanently leaving the band Audioslave. I wish the other three members nothing but the best in all the future endeavors. And then he states that, as far as we were concerned, Audioslave has disbanded, and that a greatest collections would be issued in the future because of label commitments. Harsh, but it is what it is. Then the New York Post reported that according to the source, the split was not irresolvable personal conflicts, but about the money. A friend of Cornell said Chris was unhappy with the financial arrangement within the group. He wrote all the music, yet other three bandmates took equal shares in multi-million-dollar publishing rights. I'm going to say something about this really quick. I feel that Chris Cornell and Tom Morello, now don't get me wrong, I fucking totally think Tom Morello is a genius, and I respect him as an artist, and as the same with Chris Cornell. But there's just always that fucking thing with money, and it always fucks people over. And that statement, that last statement there like that, I feel like I don't think it's fair. I don't think it was thought out properly. I guess like it maybe was too knee-jerk, I think. That's just me though, because that means he's claiming that he wrote all the music, which is bullshit, because there's no way that he wrote all of Tom Morello's solos, and there's no fucking way that Tom Morello wrote all of fucking Chris Cornell's lyrics. It's just how it works. They didn't fucking sit down and write the drums. I'll tell you that right fucking now. There's no fucking way. And there's no way he wrote those bass lines. That's just how it is. And that's I don't know. That's just me. That's just my thoughts on it. I hate when money gets in the way of shit like that. And I'm a money freak. Like, I am fucking psychopath with my money. Morello and Cornell initially disagreed over the particulars of Cornell quitting the group, with Morello claiming that Cornell did not communicate directly with him about leaving. Cornell countered, Tom and I did have communications about the fact that I was going to go and make a record, and that I was tired of what ended up seeming like a political negotiations towards how we were going to do Audioslave business and get it nowhere with it. It's harsh. Cornell has said that the breakup was not about money, but that it was just not getting along with the other members, and that's shitty. And he has a quote here. Getting along with people is one thing. Getting along with it as a group of people that can work together in a band situation, we were not particularly getting along well. No bands work in a way where everyone at some point has a similar idea of how you do things. 3 albums into it, it started to seem like our interests weren't as conjoined anymore. I totally get what he's saying. Like 100% I get what he's saying. Cornell revealed information about the band's breakup. Personally, a lot of it was me trying to land on my feet again, and I went through a lot of personal turmoil throughout the time of Audioslave and when it formed, and unfortunately I think it affected the band a little bit. I think a lot of it, Mr. Cornell, unfortunately. Terms of me not really being grounded, I think there was stuff that could have been resolved, and there was drama that was probably unnecessarily typical rock band stuff. Like, I certainly played a role in it. I definitely feel like I was part of a lot of unnecessary stuff. It didn't need to become what it became. You learn with experience. That whole little thing is like a progression of him realizing that, from what I'm getting from it, is like a progression of him realizing that he did have the issues, and that he did bring some issues into the band, and he kind of vented on them, and he shouldn't have. Which is absolutely fair, but like you said, you learn with experience. Tom Morello said that unreleased material that was not on the 3 albums could be released in the future. At an unspecified point, Chris Cornell and Tom Morello shared the stage together for the first time in 7 years among many musicians at the 2013 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert. Cornell also joined Morello on stage on September 26, 2014, guesting on his solo Seattle show. They played together several Night Watchman songs, Cornell's usual acoustic covers, and for the first time 8 years, some Audio Slave songs. Yeah, okay, you want to talk about some fucking amazing covers? You go listen to Mr. Cornell do some covers. Holy shit. Because the guy's voice is amazing. He can play guitar. And it's just fucking go, like, holy shit. Like, seriously, it's amazing. YouTube, Chris Cornell, acoustic covers, and it'll come, it's great. You won't be disappointed at all. Both Rage Against the Machine and Soundgarden have reformed since Audioslave's breakup and have played several shows. Rage did not record a new album, but Soundgarden recorded King Animal. There's a couple of good songs on it, I think. I haven't gone back and checked it out in the last little bit. probably should. Spotify ruins I've been on this real crazy train of listening to new music. I'll listen to like pop music every once in a while. I'll listen to some other stuff, but I'm in a weird spot for music right now. And it's really cool. Oh, I picked up a fucking wicked Johnny Cash album. It was like a kind of a best of album for $15. And it's like brand new and it's like an original press. I'm totally stoked on that. In August 2015, Cornell openly said in an interview with Total Guitar that he was quite eager to reunite with Audioslave. I think it would be great. We did a lot of songs, and with the benefit of not having done anything with those guys for so long, it would be a really amazing experience just to get back and work with these same guys again. Soon after, Morello said that he is interested in working with Cornell again, remembering their 2014 Seattle performance with great fondness. I love Chris and consider him a great friend. The Hall of Fame jam was nice, but it was a little chaotic playing with him in Seattle. That was just fantastic. I love that guy. He's one of the most talented vocalists in history of vocalists. I can't disagree with that. And to be able to play the songs that we wrote together, it was awesome and was so much fun. I hope we do something like that again. On January 17, 2017 is when they announced that Audioslave would reunite for the first show in 12 years, a Prophets of Rage anti-inaugural ball protesting Donald Trump's inauguration. The event took place on January 20th, 2017. I remember this, and oh my god, it was not, I can't believe it though. Like I said, it was nuts. Asked in February 2017 if they would be more Audioslave reunion shows in the future, Cornell replied, "It's always a possibility. I mean, we've been talking about it for the last 3 or 4 years now. We've been talking about actually picking dates. It's just ending up not working out because everybody's so busy. They have other bands again, and they're doing all their solo stuff and taking care of themselves. And he has Soundgarden in his solo career. That's taking a lot of his time. And he did Temple of the Dog at the time, so it's really hard right now. They just need a window to do it, and when it's comfortable for everybody to do it. So they were going down the right path this time for proper cohesion, so that everybody could work together and do it properly. And it definitely feels like everybody was up for it, which they were trying to do it right. This is the shitty thing. On May 18, 2017, Cornell was found dead in his hotel room in Detroit after performing at the show with Soundgarden, ending the possibility of a reunion, obviously. I remember watching a live stream of that show, Chris Cornell's last show, and then hearing the next day that they found him dead. Hearing the stories of it was tough. My friend Naomi took it really hard. For her, that was her Cobain. That was her Kurt Cobain. That was Chris Cornell was the reason why she did what she did. I know for me it was a fucking big hit too, and it was weird after like listening to his music. Not talking about it, hearing him sing, it's weird. And it dredged up some memories for sure. But the stories after about how his wife was talking to him and stuff, that's pretty fucking deep shit, man. And since we're on it, you know this part of the show. If you motherfuckers need any help, you ask for it. You hear me? Or if you see somebody that needs it, you fucking say something, because we need you guys here. We need all of you here. Man, there's so many awesome things to live for, guys. Music, life itself, man. The things of life. I preach it every day. Sometimes I struggle with life on the, there's some deep shit that happens. Like, and I got some shit going on an arrow right now. Maybe later. Maybe there's some stuff like it's not to the point where I'm dealing with some personal stuff like that's going on that's totally out of my control. It'll make sense later on after the 15th of August. I gotta go see some people about some stuff. It's court and stuff. Anyways, but please, guys, like legitimately, if you need help, ask for it. If you see somebody that needs it, fucking say something. Please, 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 because we all need each other. This world could be a fucked up place sometimes, but we could make it fucking awesome if we just stick together. That's all I got on Audioslave. I got some things here that I'm going to read out, how they got their name, basically, and a little quote, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but there was a band already called Audioslave in the UK, which is kind of fucking stupid. I remembered it after I read it, too, because I've heard about it, so it was kind of weird. The original idea for the band's name was Civilian, but it was dropped when a member found out that it was already taken. Morello later discredited the story, contradicting Tim Comfort and Cornell, and commenting that Civilian was merely a rumor circulating at the time. He stated, "The band has only ever had one name, and it was Audioslave." Morello described origins of the Audioslave. That was Chris's suggestion that sort of came to him in a vision. This is funny. They were all on two-way pagers, basically old school text messaging each other on a two-way pagers. And then one night Chris is like, "I got it, Audioslave." We're all like, "Fantastic!" And that's a great name, obviously. They're slave to audio and making it, and I can get behind that. He then paraphrases Elvis Costello. Talking about band names is like dancing about architecture. There's just no point in it because it's the band's name that becomes the music and the people. I'm still processing that little quote from Mr. Elvis Costello, and it's still tweaking my brain a little bit. It makes sense, but it's a slow burn for myself. This is crazy. After the name was announced, like publicly, it emerged that there was a band already being using the name from Liverpool. The two bands worked out a settlement with the American Audioslave, paying $30,000 and a deal that allowed each band to use the name to avoid confusion. The Liverpool band would rename themselves The Most Terrifying Thing. That's a fucking kick in the teeth, I think. 30 grand? It's not very much. Maybe 3 grand. Even then, it is what it is. That, my friends, was Audioslave. Thank you again. It was a late night for myself. I know I rambled a bit, and there might have been a little bit of here and there because I'm fucking totally out of it. I'm so burnt out right now. Again, guys, if you need any help, please say something. You can get a hold of me. Get a hold of somebody. If you see somebody needs help, help them. Please, please, please. That's all I can say. Please. We need you guys. We love you guys. Love you guys. People throw that word around a lot, but love can do a lot of crazy shit to people. It's true. On that note, this has been another episode of Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. Keep listening to music because it makes life that much better, and I will catch you on the flip side. Thank you again for listening to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. It means the world to me. I'm glad you could come on this journey with me, and we'll keep doing it every week. Subscribe, rate and review, all that good stuff, and keep listening to music because it only makes life better, and we'll see you on the flip side. Stay rad.